Hi everyone, welcome to Release Readiness for Spring 21 release. I'm Rajesh Gande, a product manager with Financial Services Cloud team at Salesforce. We are very excited to share with you the new features coming in Spring 21 release. So let's dive in. Now, we might make some forward looking statements here, but remember to please make any purchasing decisions based on the currently available functionality. In the 4 years that FSC has been in market, we have invested a lot in the product and are continuing to innovate and grow since our first release in the spring of 2016. So today, we would like to bring you some exciting new innovations and enhancements in Financial Services Cloud for the Spring 21 release. As you can see, we have quite a few items to go through, so let's jump right in. Let's first talk about interaction summaries. It is a new feature launched in Spring 21 release. With interaction summaries, you can easily capture the meeting notes and the attendees all in one place. This new feature enables you to share notes containing confidential information with only relevant stakeholders to maintain compliance and associate notes with accounts and opportunities to surface customer insights. Interaction summaries can be used across financial services and insurance. In investment banking, bankers can use interaction summaries as call reports to capture notes about client deals like upcoming acquisitions. In wealth management, financial advisors can track new investment opportunities. And in insurance, territory sales managers can collaborate with agencies on recent policy metrics and performance. Let's take a closer look at the functionality over a demo. Now, let's see interaction summaries in action. Let's say I'm an investment banker logging into Financial Services Cloud. On my homepage, I can see all my recent interaction summaries across my accounts. As I plan my day ahead, I can easily review the summaries that have open activities and also get a quick reminder of the meeting notes. To prepare for an upcoming meeting with my client Tech Labs, I go to their account page. Here I see the most recent interaction summaries. We are working on an M&A deal titled Project Falcon. Within this component, I can search only those summaries and notes appear. And I can also filter for any meetings with a specific purpose like deal execution. I review the notes and action items from these recent meetings to ensure I've addressed everything before my next meeting with the Tech Labs executive team. After my meeting with Tech Labs, I'm ready to capture the key takeaways and action items from the meeting. Interaction summaries allows me to capture notes in a structured way. I add the meeting title and create an interaction for this meeting. When I create an interaction, I have the option to select an interaction type, such as an email, phone call, in person meeting, or conference. These different types allow me to categorize and easily search through interactions. Each interaction summary can also have a specific interaction purpose. In this case, it's deal execution and offering type. There are also fields to capture meeting notes and next steps. To ensure compliance, each interaction summary can also be marked as either confidential or public. Because this is related to pricing for an M&A deal and contains material non-public information, I mark this summary as confidential. Once an interaction summary is created, I can also capture attendees, both internal to my bank or external like client and any other external partners. Interaction summaries are supported by compliant data sharing, which allows me to stay compliant while sharing notes with relevant stakeholders. I want to share this with Peter William, the analyst on this deal. I add him as a participant and assign him to the analyst role, which has been enabled with read write access. Peter will automatically get access to this interaction summary and can add any notes and follow up items from the meeting. Compliant data sharing is now enabled for groups. So I can also share this interaction summary with entire groups who would find these notes and action items relevant. After the deal has closed, I share this summary with the tech coverage group so they can learn about the final pricing details for this deal. When I select tech group as the participant, I can add at once the entire group of bankers my compliance officer has already assigned to this sharing group. When I assign them the role of industry coverage, they automatically get read only access to this interaction summary. Interaction summaries provides a more flexible independent sharing model that can look up to multiple objects such as accounts and opportunities, and also allows you to add multiple internal and external attendees. Interaction summaries enables you to stay compliant while efficiently capturing and sharing meeting notes. That brings us to the end of the demo of interaction summaries. Let's look at the next topic, enhancements we have made to the compliant data sharing feature. You can now leverage compliant data sharing feature with new interaction summaries feature we just discussed to ensure compliant sharing of material non-public information. Also, compliant data sharing feature now supports sharing with a group of users and managing them like a coverage team. You can now enable any participant on a record to manage additional participants to share data with them. Let's take a closer look at the functionality over a demo. Please note these setup steps can be done by an admin or a compliance management user with suitable perms. No dependence on SF admin or dev. Now let's see the enhancements in action. Participant group is a new type of Salesforce group that can be managed by either a system administrator or a user with suitable permissions. Now let's create a participant group called compliance team and add a couple of users as members. Now let's create another participant group called technology coverage and add two members. Also add the previously created compliance team group as a member to this group. You can preview the members of a participant group before adding them as a member of another group. You can see the nested groups here. There is no hard limit on the depth of nested groups. The recommended limit is 5 levels. As a user, let's add a couple of account participants to the account Edge Corp. Add Rajesh as an account participant with the role Managing Director. And add Elena as an analyst. I will now log in as Elena and add Technology Coverage Group as a participant to the account Edge Corp with the participant role as Industry Coverage. Please note, you can see the preview of the group before adding as a participant. With this, it can be observed that even non-record owners can share the records by adding record participants. The users who were granted edit access to the parent record via complaint data sharing based on their participant role can add and manage other participants. Now, let's just see who has access to the Edge Corp account to the classic UI. Let me click on the share button and there you can see the users and groups who have access to the account. That brings us to the end of the demo of complaint data sharing feature. That brings us to the end of the demo. Now let me hand it over to my colleague Vivek Hari. Thank you.
Thanks, Rajesh. Hi, I'm Vivek Hari, a product manager with the Financial Services Cloud. I'm really excited to talk to you about two features, roller by lookup enhancements and actionable relationship center. Let's get started. Let's talk about roller by lookup enhancements first. Roller by lookups enable you to aggregate a customer, household, or business's financial accounts, assets, liabilities, and other financial information to get a holistic view of customers and their financials. With these roll ups, you can gather insights around relationships and understand a customer's financial picture. These new roll up enhancements use a new data processing engine so that you can easily create your own rules and enable significantly faster roll ups for high volumes. Let's dive into a demo. If you're using an older version of RBL, you might have a set of RBL configurations that were shipped in a managed package. In order to migrate to the new RBL enhancements framework, go to Setup, under Financial Services, General Settings, and you will see these two settings. Now, let me explain a bit about these two settings. The first one is going to enable the new RBL, which uses the data processing engine. And the second one is going to convert your existing RBL configurations to the new framework. So let's enable these two settings. Once you have enabled the settings, you need to come to the data processing engine in the setup. You will see that there are a set of rules that have been converted from the old framework into the new framework. For the sake of this demo, We will focus on RBL for AUMHH, that stands for Roller by Lookup for Assets Under Management for the household. So let's dive in. This is the new data processing engine screen. We're going to add some data sources, create some joins, create some filters, and then aggregate the balances of the financial accounts. And finally, write back the aggregates to the accounts object. Let's look at the data sources. First data source that I have added is the account object. I have selected three fields from here: ID, name, and record type ID. Then I have financial accounts where I have selected four fields: record type ID, household, managed, and balance. In record type, I have selected two fields: developer name and ID. The next step is to get a join between account and record type. Join is essentially going to create a bigger table with columns from both the tables. Here we will join account and record type objects, such as record type ID on the account is matched with the ID field on the record type object. Similarly, we will create one more join between financial account and record type objects, where the record type field on the financial account is equal to the ID on the record type object. Once this is done, we're going to filter the account record type join for the industries household. So here, if you see, the source node is account record type, which is from here, and we are filtering over the records with the developer name in the join table equals to the industries household. The second filter that we have done is a financial account record type filter. This is basically specific to this rule where the source node is the financial account record type join, which is this node. We are putting two filters over here. First is where the financial account is a managed account, and second is where financial account record type is an investment account. Once this is done, we are going to create an aggregate, and you can refer it from here. What this operation is doing is basically aggregating balances of the financial account grouping by the household. What this will do is that for the household, it will create a new column called balance sum, where it is going to add up all the balance underscore C values for that household. Once the aggregate is done, we want to do is create another join between the account record type filter and the aggregate financial account balances. Here, the ID on the account record type filter is equal to the household field on the aggregate balance underscore C. Next, we are going to create a write back. So this step is really the key. Essentially, here we are writing the records back to the Salesforce objects. So here, if you see, the source node is account record type filter aggregate, which is the join we last did. Target object is account. Action type is update. And you have to define a user with the write back permission. So here we're using an RBL user. Then what we're defining is that from the source node, this node, you put the total balance sum to the total assets under management for the primary owner and map the ID field from the source node to the ID field of the target object, which is the account object. So once this is done, we can activate this rule. This creates a calc definition in the backend. Now to run this calc definition, we have to use flows. You create a new flow, and here we will create an auto launch flow. Add a node, and in the actions, look for RBL for AUMHH. Click on Done and click on Save. And activate. You can run the rule from right here, or you can run it through a quick action. What this will do is to submit the calc definition to the Einstein Analytics Framework for execution. And you can see that in the workflow monitoring services. Let's move on to the next topic, Actionable Relationship Center. As most of you know, ARC is our next generation visualization engine for account relationships. Our focus for ARC is really the flexibility and the configurability of the relationship view. So for example, we are using compact layouts for visibility of information. You can configure actions on the layout, and we have also built-in pagination for ease of consumption. Let us dive into a demo. Let's go to Jose and Julia Gonzalez account page and go to ARC tab. As you can see, the ARC view now supports CDS by displaying account participants. Here, if you want, you can create a new participant. So I will create Nirav Doctor as one of the participants for the account and assign him the role of relationship manager. When we save the participant record, Nirav appears as one of the participants. A few things to note here. As covered by Rajesh, CDS should be set up in the org, and the appropriate permission should be assigned to the user. Secondly, for the participant list to show in ARC, it must be present as a related list on the account layout. Thirdly, for the participant list to appear, show participant should be checked in the component settings in the Lightning App Builder layout. We have also done some enhancements with respect to the related list visibility. Now the admin can add up to 10 related lists in ARC. The related lists now appear as collapsed when the page loads. We have also invested in performance improvements in the related list load time. That's it for the demo. Now I'll hand it over to Sam to talk about branch management. Over to you, Sam.
Thanks, Vivek. Hi, everyone. My name's Sam Kligman, and I'm here to tell you about the new functionality we're coming out with in Financial Services Cloud to uplevel your organizational productivity. Let's dive in. With branch and practice management, you can unlock optimal performance using new ways to track the output of your branches and practices along with their staff and customers. This new feature comes with a data model and a beta association engine to model branch and practice ecosystems. You can now associate individual staff members with a specific branch or practice, which allows you to easily identify and track customer interactions and performance by location or staff member. Last but not least, you can build reports on all parts of this framework so that you or your team can optimize your processes to be more effective. For this discussion, I will focus on retail banking branch management, although this feature can also be used to track financial advisors, office output, and the output of other subverticals. As a part of this Spring 21 release, you will notice a new Lightning application in your org called Branch Management. This was designed through careful research with many of our customers to be the one-stop shop for all of your branch management needs. In this Lightning app, you will find objects for branch unit, associated location, operating hours, branch unit business member, and the banker. These can all be used to store key information about your locations and staff. In addition to this Lightning app, we bring to you two other features that work closely together: the branch selector component and the branch association beta. This selector is an end-user functionality that was designed to allow your users to pick the branch they're working at when they log into Salesforce if they are supporting more than one branch unit. Now, more than ever, teams are working in a distributed fashion, and supporting multiple groups has become the norm. This feature helps bridge the gap and identifies where a banker was working at when they perform their tasks. Furthermore, this information is persisted, so users need only set this information once if they only work at one location. What is nice about this component is that it only shows active bankers the active branches that they have been assigned to. As referenced in the previous slide, the branch selector component works with a new feature called the branch association beta. This feature sits in Salesforce Setup and can be easily enabled with the flip of a switch. The engine is designed to listen to the Salesforce data stream for newly created accounts and leads. Once it is turned on, any banker who has picked their branch from the branch selector will have branch association records created for their accounts and leads. These association records give credit back to the banker and branch and can be used for simple performance reporting. As time goes on, this engine's goal is to handle more object types and be even more customizable for you and your business processes. Great! Now that you've got an idea of the high-level details of our new branch management feature, let's dive in and get acquainted with all the parts of this data model. The first part of the model is the branch management core. Here, you will see in violet the objects that you saw in the branch management Lightning app. These objects include the branch unit, associated location, operating hours, branch unit business member, and the banker. The branch unit object is available for admins to represent physical or virtual branches. Note that this object self-references so that it can be used to create branch networks and hierarchies. Moreover, it is associated directly to associated location and operating hours if you would like to store that information. The branch unit business member junction object is available for admins to represent a banker's participation in a physical or virtual branch. Note that a banker will have one branch unit business member record for each branch unit that they are assigned to work at. The banker object is available for admins to represent the role of a user who works at different branches. Great. Now that you understand the branch management core model, let's get acquainted with the parts of the association beta. The branch unit related records object is designed to store the history of which branch and banker an account or lead came from. As mentioned previously, these records are created automatically by the branch association beta engine when it is turned on. This takes away all of the work of creating custom logic. The branch unit customer object is designed to store the relationship between a customer and multiple branches. If a new account is created by a banker, the branch association beta will create a branch unit customer record automatically and assign an association level of primary for the branch the banker is working at. What is nice about this object is that customers have multiple association levels with different branches. So, if, say, you have a customer who lives in 2 locations throughout the year, your team can track this customer's primary and secondary branch relationships. This helps understand which customers to reach out to when discussing new offerings. Awesome. Now that we've covered the basics, let's get into how the branch management core manages to associate and to unify other models. In particular, you will see that there are lookup associations between all of the branch objects and the account and service models. This was designed for you for several specific reasons. First, we wanted to make it easier for customers to continue leveraging any existing branch models they may have created with accounts while slowly migrating over to the comprehensive FSC branch model. Second, we wanted to ensure that customers who have adopted Partner Service Cloud products could construct reporting and analytics related to appointment scheduling and map that back to the master branch management system. And finally, third, we wanted to ensure that customers who expand their data models out to partners using external account hierarchies and communities could do so. Great. Now let's look back one more time at the complete data model. With this model, you should have a comprehensive ability to manage your branches and up-level your company's organizational productivity. Now, let's get into the demo so you can see the branch management in action. Let's say I'm a branch manager for the 10 State Street branch. In Financial Services Cloud, I can create a new branch unit for this location and specify whether it's a physical or virtual branch. Once I've created the branch, I can add any bankers who will work at this branch, such as a personal banker named David Johnson. The branch unit business member links branches to bankers. So when David works in this 10 State Street branch, his interactions can be tracked and associated with this specific location. We've now switched to David Johnson's view in his banking console. David works across multiple branches. When he starts his day, he chooses the branch where he's working at today, which is 10 State Street. With this new environment of working from home, he can quickly switch between the branches he used to go into in person. As he engages with customers throughout the day, he tracks everything in Financial Services Cloud. Today, he creates a lead for Rachel Adams and a new account for Widgets Inc. Because branch association settings are turned on, all of these engagements will automatically be associated with the 10 State Street branch. Later, when I log in as a branch manager and want to review my branch's activities, I will go into the new branch management app. Here, I can see the branch units that I manage, including the 10 State Street branch where David was working earlier today. In this branch, I see a list of available bankers who can be scheduled to branches in the new branch unit business member object, which connects all of a banker's engagements to this branch. Because the association engine has been turned on by the Salesforce admin, every account and lead that has been added by bankers when working in this branch shows up here. I see the new lead that David added for Rachel Adams and the new account for Widgets Inc. here. When new accounts are created by bankers, they become branch unit customers, meaning that this branch is automatically assigned as the primary location for Widgets Inc. because it was created while David was working at this branch. With all of these engagements tracked, I can maximize branch profitability and deepen customer relationships with rich branch insights from standard Lightning reports and dashboards.
For those using Tableau CRM, formerly Einstein Analytics, for financial services, you can leverage additional out-of-the-box dashboards to analyze branch performance. Branch and practice management enables you to get a 360 view of branch and practice hierarchies and staff assignments to unlock optimal performance.
Thank you. We hope you enjoy this new functionality in your orgs. Now I'll hand it over to Anu for our final segment.
Thanks, Sam. Hi, I'm Anu Agarwal, and I'm excited to talk to you about the Intelligent Form Reader, a new product to Financial Services Cloud in the Spring 21 release. I'll also show how we have enabled all of our Financial Services Cloud components for mobile. Now let's jump right in. Let's look at the Intelligent Form Reader. This is a new product to Financial Services Cloud. The Intelligent Form Reader with Amazon TextRack enables Salesforce users to easily extract data from documents using optical character recognition technology. Templates can be easily set up to map data fields from documents to Salesforce objects for verification and approval. And this type of automation can save countless hours for underwriters and others who typically spend a lot of time reviewing client documents. Let's see how this works. I'll start in the setup area for the Intelligent Form Reader, playing the role of a Salesforce administrator. This is where I can enable the functionality and set up mappings. In this environment, the form reader is enabled already, and there are a few mappings already created. If I go into the W-2 to employment record, I can see the mappings between the W-2 form and the loan application employment record, which is part of the Financial Services Cloud mortgage data model. I can see the form fields on the left-hand side and the target object fields on the right. Now let's see how this mapping is used during document verification. I'll go to Residential Loan Applications. I'll look at the application for Frank Costanza. From here, I can click the Review button to review the documents that Frank has submitted as part of his mortgage application. I can select the file to review from the files that are part of his application. In this case, Frank has added his W-2 from Acme, but I'm still waiting on a few other documents from him. I'll review the W-2 from his job at Acme for now. Based on the defined mappings I showed earlier in setup, I have a list of objects I can map Frank's W-2 document to. There are multiple objects here because the information from his W-2 could be used in multiple parts of his application. For example, his employer's address might map to the loan applicant employment record, but I may also want to check that the contact information on the W-2 matches the contact information in the loan applicant record. In this case, I'll choose the loan applicant employment object. Frank has two jobs, Salesforce and Acme, so I see two employment records for him. I'm looking at his Acme W-2, so I'll choose Acme. Now I can review the document. On the left-hand side, I see Frank's W-2, and on the right, I see the data about his employment from his loan application. Notice the form reader gives me visual indicators, so I can easily see the fields that were mapped. Here, I can also make updates to the fields if there are any discrepancies. And I can click Finish when I am done with my review. That concludes the demo portion, but I did want to share a few FAQs about this functionality. Document types supported for OCR include support for both fixed and non-fixed forms. Some examples include W-2s, pay stubs, driver's license, and claims. Customers can also use the review component to look at any document manually. OCR template mappings can be created for all FSC and custom objects in Spring 21. Also, currently, the review component is only available to internal Salesforce users, such as loan officers or wealth advisors. We are exposing the component to communities in the next release or so. And finally, remember, FSC Intelligent Form Reader is an add-on SKU, which enables you to read up to 1,000 pages. Not to purchase additional licenses to OCR additional pages. Well, that concludes the overview for the Intelligent Form Reader. Now I'll cover some of the enhancements we have made to enable mobile for Financial Services Cloud. Our vision for Financial Services Cloud on mobile is really to empower financial professionals to take action from anywhere and stay up to date on client interactions at any time by extending their data and processes to mobile. This list shows all the components our team has been working tirelessly over the last 2 releases to enable on Financial Services Cloud. Now let's take a look at a few of these on the mobile app. Here I'm looking at Rachel Adams' account in my mobile application. Notice the Life Events component. If you recall, on the desktop, this component goes left to right. It displays vertically here, which is more natural on a mobile device. It shows 3 life events to begin with, but I can tap View All to see others and also capture a new life event. Next is the Alerts component. I can see that there are 2 alerts and can tap into them. Notice the 2 alerts in a mobile-friendly format. I have buttons to snooze or dismiss the alerts and icons so I can quickly see if an alert is an error or simply a warning. Now I want to look at Rachel's relationships. I go back to her account by tapping on her name. I can scroll down to relationships and tap in to view all her relationships. This is a simple example because Rachel is only part of one group, the Adams household. If she were part of other groups or relationships, they would appear here. I go back to her account by tapping on her name. Finally, let's see how the goals look on mobile. I tap on Goals. She has 2 goals, and I can view the details. Looks like Rachel is on track to save for college and a down payment for a new home. Well, that wraps it up for release readiness for Spring 21 Financial Services Cloud. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.